All right, so you finally have a day off. But you have that appointment with your doctor at 2 p.m. Now, everybody else is probably going to get on with their shopping, get on with their day. Maybe they've got to go to whatever their day-to-day activities are. But you, on the other hand, no, you will sit at home. We might have to pull out the sunnies, man. But no, you will sit at home like the cool cat you are, and you will wait and wait and wait until 1:30, and you'll still somehow manage to get there and be late. How do we do that? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about waiting mode. And waiting mode with ADHD is something that neurotypicals just don't understand. You see, when they have something scheduled, like I said, they can go on with their day-to-day activities, and then when the time of the activity comes, they just head to it and it's just all normal. For us, it is debilitating. It causes us to sit with anxiety, to not know what's going to happen. So in today's video, I want to go over what is waiting mode, how it can be useful for our ADHD brains and why it plays a part in our ADHD, and how we can beat it, you know, how we can get past this to enjoy our life. All right, so if you're new here, my name is Luke. I am the owner of ADHD Insights. I normally don't wear these stupid glasses, but if you did kind of like that, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post videos every week. Now, what is waiting mode? So like I said, waiting mode is a horrible anxiety. Similar to what I talk about ADHD paralysis, is a very similar feeling, okay? It normally happens as well when you're waiting for an appointment or a work event or anything, okay? So it could be anything of importance that you have scheduled in. It kind of deals you from the day. And to explain it a bit better, if you achieve that, so say you do go for that appointment, that is a win in our book. So for the whole day, like that is a W. If we go to that appointment, and especially if it goes well, that's a success for us. You know, we did it. We went to the appointment. So if we even do something more than that, that's like a big win for us, a really big win. Now I'm gonna get some water. I'll be back. I am back with the water. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why do I experience waiting mode? So the reason it's useful, or I guess we can say like why it is useful for our ADHD brains. I believe that waiting mode can be very important for our brains because it allows us not to forget about the event. As we know, our internal triggers let us down a lot. So the way we track time, the way we kind of interact with the world around us, sometimes we forget kind of how fast time really does move. So we tend to lose track of it. And because of this, we end up a lot of the times missing these appointments or simply just forgetting about them in the first place. So what our brain does is that it remembers this appointment, it sees from the past, from evidence in the past that we don't have a good track record of rocking up to these appointments on time. So your brain goes into hyper overdrive of focusing on making sure we do not miss the appointment at 2 p.m. We do not miss the appointment at 2 p.m. So what we need to do is make these internal triggers that we can't trust external, okay? So how do we do that? How can we beat waiting mode, and how can we make our internal triggers external? All right, so if we realize we cannot rely on our brain to remember the time, you need to make it external. So you need to make time external. How can we do that? Number one is alarms, okay? So alarms, but it's important the way we use these alarms, okay? So we can't just have these alarms just listed for the time of our appointment. The best way to actually do it is to first title the alarm. So you're gonna title the alarm whatever it is. So say you've got a doctor's meeting, title it doctor's meeting. You're then going to put the alarm with however long it takes you to get ready to leave. So say you're meant to leave for 1:30 to be there at 2. So your appointment's at 2. Do not set it for 1:30 when you're meant to be leaving. Set it for around 1 p.m. Okay, so now you've got this buffer of half an hour of getting ready before you have to leave. And especially if it takes half an hour to get there, setting yourself up an hour in advance is how you are meant to do it. So what I like to do, for example, if I've got an event at 2 p.m., I know it takes me half an hour to get there from the time I leave. I set my alarm for 1 p.m. I get ready at 1 to leave my house at 1:30 to be there for 2. That is how you do it. That's how you make time external. Now, some important things to take note of. We need to make the alarm sound different. So we need to make sure the alarm sticks out. It's not the same repetitive bullshit alarm we hear every day. It needs to be kind of a different alarm so it rings to us, okay, appointment time. Like I said, title the alarm. This is another important thing. There's nothing worse than an alarm going off and you have no idea what it is for. This has happened to me so many times where an alarm has gone off and I have no idea. I stress out, I hyperfixate, I ruminate. I just don't know what I'm meant to be doing, but I know I'm meant to be doing something. And if you have ADHD, that is one of the worst experiences you could ever have. Okay, so we also need to make sure that our physical environment is set up in the correct way. So if you don't have any reminders of, you know, things that you need to get done, whether it's appointments or whatever in front of you in a physical environment that you've never seen before, you're really going to struggle, and I mean it, you're really going to struggle to kind of prioritize your life because you will use all these physical things, like your example, I got my book here, you'll use the whiteboards because they start to blend in and become part. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. This has not changed in months, all right? I was using this properly for so long And then one day I just didn't use it anymore, and it's now just been sitting there collecting dust next to me. Now, I advocate for using these planners, especially when you're medicated. They work. But look what I did. I put it in this corner that I never see, I never use. I never really look at it. It's never really like here, part of my routine. So I just forget about it. If I really wanted to use it, I would set it up somewhere that is easily accessible for me. Now, these ones here, they work because I'm forced to see it every time I walk into my room. It's kind of like, it just makes sense. This one in the corner is hidden, so I can't really see it unless I focus my attention over there. So we've got to make sure that things in our physical environment stand out, number one, and number two, they're in a color that's going to grasp your eyesight, okay? I think the sooner you can accept that you're quite unreliable, the sooner your life will start to get better, and the sooner you will implement more systems. Because if you keep lying to yourself and tricking yourself that the future you will be able to solve this problem easily, like, no, I trust Luke to make sure he goes and does this thing and does that thing, like, your life is constantly going to be a cycle of trying to catch up. Whereas if you plan ahead, which again, for ADHD people sounds so ableist, like, oh, duh, no shit, I need to plan ahead, but I don't know how. Just wait. If you start to accept that the future you is unreliable and start taking that responsibility for the present you and set your future self up for success, you will be amazed about how much easier you can manage your ADHD symptoms. Now, I'm going to cut you off. How do I do that? Like, Luke, how is that even possible? I'm going to tell you how it's possible. One, you're going to use your brain to your advantage. So you are going to often, I'm not saying for everybody, but you're going to do this as an act of kindness for future you. So you're going to see yourself as a different person. So you're going to see future you as a completely different person, and you're actually going to find that it's easier to help them. Why is that? Because I find that I can go to somebody's house that's struggling with maybe doing the chores, keeping their house tidy, and I can tidy that house like tomorrow. It's easy for me. I don't struggle. I want to do it. I feel kind of like good about it because I'm giving, I'm helping somebody else. And sometimes we don't want to help ourselves. We'd rather help somebody else. So if you can start seeing future you as a different person that needs help, you will start realizing when that future becomes present, wow, I really helped me out. So to give you an example, I know future Luke would love it to do this in the morning that tells him exactly how his day's gonna go, A to D, all right? I know future Luke will like that. So I take the responsibility on as present Luke and I write that future to-do list. Also, guys, let's not lie to ourselves. Getting diagnosed is the key to implementing all the tactics I spoke about today. If you've not been diagnosed or you're not receiving any type of help or medication or even guidance, it's gonna be an uphill battle, like it really is. I'm not saying, oh, well, your problems don't exist if you've not been diagnosed, because I was undiagnosed as well. We all have been there. But I just want you to try as hard as you can. And I know some of you just can't afford it. It's simply not an option. But then if you do know that you have it, so you feel it in your heart, you feel like you relate to a lot of the content out there, you've done your research, and you really do think that that's what you have, then by all means, start to prepare yourself as if you've been diagnosed. Start to treat yourself like you have ADHD. But I don't really want to promote that as much. I really want you guys to get that official diagnosis, because you never know. You're not an expert. You know yourself. I'm not like disagreeing with that, but end of the day, you don't know what you could have. It could be bipolar. It could be something else, guys. So guys, if you feel like you learned something today about your ADHD waiting mode or your ADHD paralysis, drop a comment. Let me know if any of these tips would help, if you've tried any of these tips. And I want to leave a video here, guys, that you could watch. It's about ADHD paralysis. It's one of my most popular videos. So the key notes from this video, guys, is accept that you can be unreliable. All right. So number one, accept that you can be unreliable. So we need to set future Luke up for success. Okay. Number two, we need to make sure that our alarms are titled, they're set within a reasonable time to respond to. And number three, it stays open. So remember those three things. If you need any more help, guys, hit me up in Discord, email me, whatever you do need to do to get through to me. I will take my time and respond to you all. Apart from that, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope your ADHD isn't defeating you as much as it has been me recently. I've been really struggling just to kind of stay consistent. And anyone that obviously is watching this with ADHD will know how hard it is to stay consistent. So apart from that, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video, and I will see you soon.